Guys, this is S&P 500 weekly technical analysis for the week of May 20th. Now, because the S&P 500 managed to breach the all-time high, which was 5265, and also managed to sustain and close above the 5265, which was the previous all-time high, this indicates that the S&P 500 is bullish, the trend is bullish, and the S&P 500 is expected to remain bullish. Although there are chances that it can come down and can retest the 5265 or even a little below, but now it is expected to remain bullish. And this can remain bullish at least until Wednesday, because on Wednesday the FOMC minutes of the meetings will be published, and the S&P 500 managed to breach the 5265 because the CPI data, the inflation data, it was neutral. It was neither positive nor negative. It was simply neutral. And for now, the only problem to the S&P 500 is because of the Dow Jones. This is the Dow Jones. Why there is a problem because of the Dow Jones? The reason is the saturation and the overbought condition. The Dow Jones has entered into the saturation and in the overbought condition. That is why whatever problem, whatever bearish pressure or whatever kind of negative sentiments will be there, it will be because of the Dow Jones only. Otherwise, the S&P 500 is just 1 or 2 days away from hitting the absolute saturation and the overbought conditions. Anyways, I will discuss all of this in detail in this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis, which is for the week of May 20th. So before I discuss the technicals and the other things, a quick recap of what I have predicted in the previous week and what was seen in actual. So this was my previous S&P 500 weekly technical analysis, and here it was clear that there is a trend line and also 5265 level, which was the all-time high. This means that now there is a very heavy strong zone, and only if the S&P 500 is able to breach this zone, then there will be more bullish sentiments in the market. And also there was one more special thing. It was the candle. It was a spindle. Okay, it has formed at the top, and secondly it was a technical bearish candle. Okay, so all of these factors have indicated or have confirmed that on Monday, means on May 13, there will be some reversal, some bearish movement, and most likely there will be a red candle. So here we can see this was Monday, and Monday, yes, there was a red candle, as we were anticipating that there will be a red candle on Monday, a pressure. Okay, on Tuesday, it was the PPI data. However, okay, this was very strange behavior. So there was a surprise movement, and this surprise movement was seen especially in the last 1 hour. Then on Wednesday, it was the CPI data. Now, CPI data was clearly neutral, but the most important part here was the 5265. The S&P 500 managed to breach its previous all-time high, and so did the Nasdaq and also the Dow Jones. On Thursday, there was very heavy pressure because of the saturation on the lower level charts and also in the Dow Jones. So through these updates, I've informed my Patreon community members that see, on this particular day, on Thursday, there is a very heavy saturation, very heavy pressure, and also the trend line. This means S&P 500 is now not, means for this the intraday, it is not going to move up, rather it will come down, because the S&P 500 on Thursday managed to give its closing above the very heavy, very good support level. That was the reason that on Friday, even though the S&P 500 was under immense pressure because of the absolute saturation, absolute overbought conditions on the lower level charts, it still managed to sustain on Friday. And this was very much clear at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time on Friday. I have given this update to my Patreon community members, and I mentioned in this update that see, because of these many factors, there is pressure. Okay, and because of that pressure, S&P 500 now is going to give a very limited movement in between the very heavy support level and the resistance level, and this is expected to seen by 1:30 p.m. and if the things don't improve, in that case this will be seen for the entire day. Anyways guys, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. Now guys, I am going to discuss the agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis, which is for the week of May 20th. The first point of the agenda is the S&P 500 technical analysis on the weekly chart. So weekly chart means the big picture, okay, the long term picture. Recently we have seen a crossover in this, the MACD and the signal, okay, which was putting the bearish pressure, and also the stochastic RSI was opposing. Now the stochastic RSI has changed to bullish and the MACD is still trading bearish. So I will analyze and I will tell you that when we are expecting MACD to change the direction, because as long as MACD remains bearish, there will always be some scope for a fall. Okay, but once the MACD turns bullish, because now the trend has changed to bullish on the daily chart, so there are good chances that the MACD is going to change or going to turn to bullish on the weekly chart also. Okay, so I will show you the MACD, stochastic RSI, okay, here on the weekly chart, and I will show you the clear picture what we are expecting in the coming weeks or the months. Second point of the agenda is the S&P 500 technical analysis on the daily chart. So daily chart, okay, as you can clearly see, okay, there was it was coming down, and now it has re-entered, or it has emerged into the bullish side rather than coming to the bearish side. Okay, and also the trend has changed to bullish, but the problem is the saturation and overbought. Okay, Dow Jones has hit the saturation and the overbought. S&P 500 is going to hit within 1 day or within 2 days the absolute saturation and the overbought condition. I will discuss this here on the chart. In this, the second point of the agenda. Third point of the agenda is the probable movement of the S&P 500 from May 20th, which is Monday, to May 24th, that will be Friday. So whatever is going to happen in the S&P 500, whether it will move up or if it will come down, what will be the tiebreaker, where it is expected to sustain, what will happen through the numbers, okay, and all of these are conditions, just like what I've discussed the last week also, okay, the conditions for the bullish movement and the bearish movement, okay, and the sustainability of the index, the S&P 500. So I will discuss in this the last point of the agenda. So now guys, I am going to begin with the first point of the agenda, which is the S&P 500 technical analysis on the weekly chart. Now guys, let's discuss the weekly chart, and this is the first point of the agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. This is the weekly chart. Weekly chart means one candle represents 1 week, not 1 day or 1 hour. One candle means 1 week. So before I begin, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And if you are looking for the daily and the precise updates of the S&P 500 from Monday through Friday, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. So guys, let's first discuss the candle. This is a bullish candle, but because the closing of the candle is not equal to the high of the candle, okay, however the body of the candle is solid, it is heavy bullish, okay. So this means that there are bullish sentiments in the market, clearly bullish sentiments in the market, and also this indicates that on Monday, irrespective of any open, okay, for the entire day we can see some bullishness. Let's say if on Monday, okay, for some reason if there comes a gap down open, then also the S&P 500 will try to move up and it will not come into open equal to high condition. Means open equal to high condition means open and immediately it comes down, okay. No, so that condition will not be there because of these are the bullish sentiments which can be clearly seen through the bullish candles, right? And these are 1 2 3 4, okay, 4 bullish candles in a row. So the bullish sentiments, but there is no guarantee for the gap up open. However, if you look into this, the weekly candle of the Dow Jones, this is the Dow Jones, okay. Now this is the last weekly candle of the Dow Jones, and the closing of the candle is near to the high of the candle, okay. And also in both of these the cases, S&P 500 and the Dow Jones, the closing of the weekly candles are above the previous all-time high of these are respective indices, okay. So through the Dow Jones, there are chances that on Monday, irrespective of any open, the overall entire US stock market can try to move up, okay. S&P 500, Nasdaq, Dow Jones, the entire US stock market. And if it fails to do so, in that case also the open equal to high condition is not expected to be seen. Means let's say there comes a bad news or a worst news, okay, on Sunday, okay, or on Monday, okay, before the open of the stock market, and the market gives a gap down open. So even though it will be giving a gap down open, but still immediately after open it will try to move up a little, okay, and then it can come down. But open equal to high condition, no, okay, it is not expected to be seen. So through the Dow Jones there are good chances that irrespective of any open we can see a bullish movement in the entire US stock market, and 1 2 3 4 5, okay, 5 bullish candles in the Dow Jones. Now let's analyze the technical indicators. In terms of the technical indicators, moving average is clear fan out closing and all, okay, and Bollinger Bands and the Chimoku cloud, everything is bullish. Stochastic RSI is also bullish, okay, and earlier the Dow Jones was trading in the absolute saturation and the absolute overbought conditions for last for around 2 months, okay, and this itself was unique, very very unique, means sustaining in this kind of extremely heavy saturation and extremely heavy overbought condition for 2 months or so. So this itself was very rare thing. But now the Dow Jones is getting saturated, and most likely on Monday immediately after open the Dow Jones will hit the absolute saturation, okay, and also this the S&P 500. So when the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones they hit the absolute saturation on Monday, okay, and also the overbought, okay, they will be in this the overbought condition. This means that next week, okay, is going to be tricky, and by the end of the week there might not come a green candle, there might come a red candle, okay, or within the week we might see 1 2 or 3 red candles, and then eventually it can give a reversal and can try to move up, means that kind of movement, okay. Now the only problem for the S&P 500 is the MACD. Now you can clearly see MACD was bullish from November, from mid of November until the first week of April, okay, it was clearly bullish. Now the MACD from the first week or second week of April, okay, it is still bearish, okay. As long as MACD is bearish, there will always be some chances, some possibility that there might come a sudden drop in the entire market, okay. But once the MACD changes to bullish, in that case this possibility will be zero, okay, that now even if there comes some drop, that drop will be like it will come down, then it will reverse and it will sustain, okay. But because the MACD is still bearish on the weekly chart, so still there are, means this is clearly indicating that the market is not entirely or absolutely bullish. There are still some chances, there is still some possibility, and this fear will remain in the picture as is, as long as MACD is trading bearish on the weekly chart, okay. So if you are my Patreon community member, and whenever it gives a bullish crossover, okay, I will inform you, so I will tell you that, see, now it has given the the crossover, and now it is safe to go absolute bullish or to keep your trades as is, okay. So this is the only problem. And yes, there is one more thing, that if the MACD remains bearish and at the same time the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 hits the absolute saturation and the overbought condition, then these conditions, okay, that the MACD is bearish and now it has hit the absolute saturation and the overbought, this will put pressure, or this will put some pressure on the entire market, and we might see the downward movement. Now there is a condition, okay, the Dow Jones Dow Jones has fulfilled that technical condition, but the S&P 500, okay, it never did. So what was the condition, or what is that condition? The condition is that whenever an index or a stock breaches its all-time high level, then what happens? The stock moves up, breaches, okay, there is a breach, it moves up, then it will take a reversal, it will come down, it will then retest its all-time high level, retest the all-time high level, okay. And this is the rule of the stock market. Whenever it breaches, it will breach, not a problem, okay, for a few days it can do so, then it will take a reversal, it will come down, it will retest the all-time high level, okay. It will go below the all-time high level, but eventually most of the times, okay, it will be able to sustain above, and then it will resume its bullish trend. This is how the stock market works, okay. Indices, this is the S&P 500, and almost means in its entire history of the S&P 500 means hardly we have seen that this condition was not fulfilled. Otherwise S&P 500, Dow Jones, okay, these are the standard big indices, okay. And this rule is not just applicable to an index, but this rule is also applicable to any like the crypto, okay, or stock, or anything which is traded in the stock market. Now you will be amazed to know, so now you will see that this was the all-time high in January 2022, 4818. S&P 500 breached the all-time high. I think it was January 2024. So it was in the week of 16th of January 2024. It has breached, it has given a closing above 4818, which was the previous all-time high. It moved up, then it never came down. It never came down to retest the 4818, okay. And it was coming down, to test the 4818 to fulfill its obligation. But then all of a sudden, okay, there was a manipulation for 2 days, Thursday and Friday, last week, okay. Because of that very strong, very heavy manipulation, the entire thing, okay, this trend has changed, and then we have seen that it has failed. So 4818, okay, it's a technical obligation, it is still pending. This technical obligation is still pending. This means that although we are seeing that S&P 500 is moving up, okay, but eventually, okay, sometime, okay, it will come down and it will hit the 4818, okay, and then it will fulfill its technical obligation to 4818, because it has to, okay. And it will, because even the stocks, okay, I'm not talking about the penny stocks, but standard stocks, okay, and some good stocks, the Dow 30 stocks, okay, the top 100 companies stock, okay, you will notice that it always happens to the stocks and the indices. But in case of the S&P 500, the S&P 500 has missed, okay. So it would have been good, or it would have been better if the S&P 500, okay, if it means when it was coming down, it should have fulfilled its technical obligation, and then it was absolutely free to move up, okay, without any problem. So 4818 was, is, and will be in the picture as long as this condition is or as long as this condition remains okay, unfulfilled, okay, or is not fulfilled. And now this is the Dow Jones, okay. Almost similar thing is there in the Dow Jones, okay, bullish, and the same problem, okay, the same MACD, okay, and that is the problem. So MACD is creating a problem, and if you have subscribed to my YouTube channel for last many months or years, then I've shown you the magic of the MACD, okay, that we cannot say that now the market is absolutely bullish and MACD is negative. This means that MACD will not impact. Most of the times it was only the MACD which has brought down the entire market, the entire Wall Street, the entire stock market. Or when everything was negative but the MACD was positive, then it has given a super bullish movement to the entire market, okay. So there will always be a fear as long as MACD is bearish. Anyways guys, I have one more information to share with you. This is my stock market knowledge transfer program, okay, or the S&P 500 knowledge transfer program. Through this program I teach the movement, strategies, trend analysis, predictions, technical support and resistance levels, and much more, okay. And the motto of the program is to help you become self-reliant, and this program is delivered one-on-one basis, and also whatever I am going to share, okay, through this the program is applicable to any stock, any index, any currency, any commodity or crypto, or anything that is traded in the stock market. Because here I'm going to share with you the technicals, okay, the rules of the stock market, okay, and everything. And this is my email address, and I've given the link to this program in the description of the video and also in the comment section. And this is the Google spreadsheet. More details are there in this the Google spreadsheet. And when you open this the Google spreadsheet, then you will see that everything is mentioned in detail, what is there, what I'm going to share, okay, everything, option strategies, options trading, okay, and how to predict the movement even before it happens, okay, how to predict the trend, etc. Okay. This is my email address, and these are some terms and conditions. These are the snapshots of the meetings. So guys, whenever you want to participate, or if you have any questions, okay, then this is my email address. You can simply drop me an email. I've given the link to this program in the description of the video and also in the comment section. Now guys, I'm going to discuss the second point of the agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. And here in this, the second point of the agenda, I will do the technical analysis of the S&P 500 on the daily chart. This is the daily chart, D as in daily chart. Daily chart means one candle represents one day, not 1 week or 1 hour. One candle means one day. Now, before I analyze the candle, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And if you're looking for these the daily and the precise updates of the S&P 500 from Monday through Friday, every day, each and everything, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. Now guys, let's first analyze the candle. It is a very small candle, very dull candle and very small candle, indicating that S&P 500 was trying to sustain, and it managed to do so, because there is a very strong support, okay, and S&P 500 has sustained. And in my final update on Friday to my Patreon community members, I have mentioned that closing of the S&P 500 above this very strong support in any form or in any manner simply means there are 3 closings above that very strong support continuously for last 3 days, and this means S&P 500 has strongly sustained above that strong support level and is going to sustain more and is expected to move up. And only if the S&P 500 loses this strong support, there will be bearish movement. Otherwise there will be bullish movement only. This means that although this candle may look very small, very thin, okay, of no use or dull, but the candle, this candle, these 3 candles managed to give a closing above a very strong support level. That is okay, and this is what matters, right? So simply there are some bullish sentiments, okay, but still pressure is clearly there, okay. Now in terms of the technicals, okay, you can clearly see everything is bullish, okay. All of the technicals on the daily chart is bullish. On the weekly chart, S&P 500 was like 80% bullish, okay, because MACD is still bearish, okay. But here you can see that moving average is clear fan out, okay, Ichimoku and Bollinger Bands, and MACD is also bullish, stochastic RSI, everything is bullish. Within 1 to 2 days, if there comes any more bullish movement, S&P 500 will get absolute overbought and saturated on the daily chart also. It is going, it will enter into the absolute saturation and overbought condition, okay, as soon as it goes green, okay, on Monday on the weekly chart. But the same will happen within 1 to 2 days, Monday or Tuesday, when it goes green, okay, on the daily chart. So it will become absolute saturated, absolute overbought on the daily chart and the lower level charts everywhere, and this will put very heavy pressure on the S&P 500, and then there are chances S&P 500 can come down to test its previous all-time high, which was 5265, or it can lose this and it can come down a little below, okay, this the level. So this is there on the daily chart of the S&P 500. Now the Dow Jones. So in terms of the Dow Jones, everything is same, okay, almost same, in the same condition. The only change here in terms of the Dow Jones is that the Dow Jones is already in the overbought and the saturation. It has already entered into the overbought and saturation, okay, and it did not wait for the S&P 500, but the S&P 500 will enter within 1 to 2 days, okay. So now the entire US stock market will go heavily saturated and the overbought on the weekly chart, daily chart, lower level charts. So this will put pressure and this will force the stock market to come down, okay. But it is not, however, this may take 1, 2 or 3 days to happen, okay, and until then, okay, it can remain bullish, not a problem, okay. So this is there on the daily chart. So this means that on the daily chart, S&P 500 and the Dow Jones both are 100% bullish, absolute bullish. On the weekly chart, S&P 500 and the Dow Jones are 80% bullish, okay. Overall we can say that 90%, the Wall Street, the stock market is 90% bullish on the daily chart. However, whatever is going to happen, whatever will happen, I will keep you posted through these the daily and the precise updates of the S&P 500. And guys, it's not just about these the daily and the precise updates of the S&P 500 which I give to my Patreon community members. I also give the stock market opportunities minimum 5 to 10 every week to my Patreon community members in the premium stocks of the US stock market, the top 20-30 companies of the US stock market. So guys, whenever you want to join my Patreon community, I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. And when you follow that link, then you will see that this is my Patreon page and this is my Patreon profile. And on my Patreon page, you will see that there are these two tiers: daily S&P 500 updates for non-US and Canada residents. This is the daily S&P 500 updates for US and Canada residents. And when you subscribe to either of these, then you will be getting the daily S&P 500 analysis updates and the probable movement from Monday through Friday, as well as the stock market opportunities, minimum 5 to 10 every week in the premium stocks of the US stock market. And guys, if you notice that many people have joined my Patreon community for last many months or years, and they are getting these daily precise updates of the S&P 500 from Monday through Friday, and they are very well aware of what is expected to happen, what is going to happen, what are the conditions for the bullish and the bearish movement. So guys, whenever you want to join my Patreon community, I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. You can follow that link and you can join my Patreon community, and you are welcome. Now guys, I am going to discuss the third and the last point of the agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. And here I will give you the probable movement of the S&P 500 from May 20th, which is Monday, to May 24th, that will be Friday. So guys, before I discuss these points and everything, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And if you're looking for these the daily and the precise updates of the S&P 500 from Monday through Friday, each and everything, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. So next week, number one, Wednesday afternoon, FOMC minutes of the meetings will be released. Okay, so this is the bullish movement, heavy bullish movement, these 2 days of absolute heavy manipulation after the Federal Reserve Chairman confirmed there will be no relief. Okay, so there was a very strong bearish candle and the entire market was coming down. Then 2 days of manipulation has changed the entire trend. So on Wednesday afternoon, we will come to know whether the Wall Street, means if everything is there in these the comments of the Feds, as the Wall Street was expecting or not. As per the FOMC, because now the Wall Street is expecting that the first rate cut will be in the month of September. It all started when there was a very the heavy bullish rally, that there will be a first rate cut in the month of March. Then they changed it to June. Okay, so they have simply changed the narrative like this to June, and now they have changed the narrative from June to September. So this is nothing but just an excuse that because there will be a rate cut, so we are going to give a bullish rally. Okay, this thing. So this actually has nothing to do with the rate cut. Okay, May, June, or September, because after September they will then say that the first rate cut will happen in December, and now we are going to give more bullish movement. Okay, but at the same time the economy is slowing down drastically. The economy is clearly, if you look into the numbers, the numbers are clearly telling that the economy is heading to the recession. Okay, or a good correction, if not recession, then a good correction for at least 6 to 8 months or 9 months. Okay, because the numbers, everything, unemployment rate is increasing. Okay, the purchasing power and a lot of factors. So there are a lot of factors, lot of things are there. Okay, economy is it is coming down, whereas the Wall Street, the stock market is simply trading at the all-time high levels as if everything is good. So anyways, whatever will be there through this the FOMC, I will tell you if you are my Patreon community member. So on Wednesday afternoon, I will give you that the post, and accordingly you can make the changes to your trades. Now this is the first thing, FOMC. Number two is that on Fridays some real estate, not real estate but retail sales data will be published on Friday. However, because the FOMC is scheduled before the retail sales data on Wednesday, this means that this data is not going to make any significant impact. So Wednesday is very, very important. And if you are my Patreon community member, then make sure that you are available on Wednesday afternoon. Now let's talk about the numbers. Now it is very, very clear. 5265. What is 5265? All-time high, previous all-time high. And guys, again let me remind you, 4818. Okay, this was the all-time high before, okay, before this the 5265. So the condition to the 4818, okay, it is still pending, okay, not fulfilled. And now we have another, all-time high, which was 5325.49, 5325.49. Okay, this was the recent all-time high S&P 500 has achieved or have made on Thursday. Okay, now, and this the all-time high. So what it means, this means that now any kind of fall, any kind of bearish movement, any kind of this side movement, bearish side movement, will be limited to around 5265 itself. Okay, it's not like that it will come down and it will hit exactly 5265. No, it will be able to breach 5265. It will be able to come down, okay, maybe to these the levels, maybe 5200 or so. Okay, around it will come down. Okay, it will hit these the levels, but because the sentiments and everything is bullish, and if it remains like that, then it will get a reversal. Okay, again a retrace, bullish retrace, and then it will be able to close above the 5265, and as long as it is closing above 5265, it is bullish, it will remain bullish. Okay, so this is very very simple. Okay, very clear logic, no rocket science here. The problem will happen only and only if the S&P 500 comes down, loses 5265 and remains below 5265. Because if it remains below 5265, then it will be forced to come down. Okay, forced to come down to what? Forced to come down to the Ichimoku cloud itself. And as you know that, or if you have subscribed to my YouTube channel, then I have again and again mentioned boundary of the Ichimoku cloud itself. It acts as the support and resistance. Okay, it will come down, it will find around 5100, 51xx, okay, or so, or 5100, it will come down, it will get support here. Okay, and but however next week, okay, there is nothing big schedule, okay, or other than the FOMC, but still, but because the Wall Street has already made up its mind, okay, to go bullish irrespective of anything, this means that FOMC can force the Wall Street to change its mind for a day or two. Otherwise, it will not. This means that any fall will be limited to around 5080. Okay, which is the boundary of the Ichimoku cloud. So fall limited here. Okay, that's it. For the bullish movement to happen, for the S&P 500 to remain bullish, okay, the only condition is that it must keep on closing above 5265. As long as it is sustaining and it is closing above 5265, it will remain bullish. Okay, so there is no doubt about that. However, there is a strong support level, okay, here, and if the S&P 500 loses that support level, because for last 3 days, okay, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it managed to close above that support level, or to sustain above that strong support level. If it loses that strong support level, then that will be the very first indication it is coming down to 5265, and it will come down to 5265. Okay, and then the 5265 will be tested, but as long as it remains above 5265, okay, it is not going to come down, okay, as such heavily. It means it will remain bullish, even the, or as long as it is sustaining above 5265. Okay, and if we see that S&P 500 is struggling to move up, in that case also it will not give up, it will remain above 5265. Okay, it might give a dull movement, not a problem, it can give a dull movement, but it will not give up. Okay, because 5265 will be holding the S&P 500. Now, as long as it is there, okay, it remains in this the condition, or it is moving up, in that case it will be heading to 5400 or so. Okay, however, for now the problem is, if the S&P 500 continues to move up, if the Dow Jones continues to move up, then what will happen? Immediately within 1 to 2 days, the entire US stock market will enter into the absolute saturation and in the absolute overbought condition. This means a continuous bullish movement is going to create a problem for the market itself. Okay, this also means that if the market holds, sustains, or if it comes down and tests the 5265, in that case it will be able to cool down itself. Okay, and in that case thereafter it can resume its bullish trend towards 5400. Okay, that will not be any issue. Okay, that will not create any problem. because in that case a bullish movement technically will be supported, because in that case it will be out of the saturation and the overbought condition. So the only problem as of now is the absolute saturation and the overbought conditions on the daily as well as on the weekly chart. The problem would not have been there if the absolute saturation and the overbought condition would have been seen on the lower level chart. Now it is there on the lower level charts, hourly charts, 4-hourly charts, daily charts, weekly charts. All of the charts are absolutely there. These charts are clearly in the overbought condition and the saturation condition. So how can the market, okay, it can keep on moving up? It will be forced to give up, forced to come down. Okay, come down doesn't mean that it will come down heavily, no. Okay, 5265, okay, and then the condition of 5265 will be applicable, and once it comes down, it cools itself, okay, then it will be allowed to move up, not a problem. In that case it can move up. But whatever is going to happen, whatever will happen, I will keep you posted through these the daily and the precise updates of the S&P 500 to my Patreon community members. And if you have not yet joined my Patreon community, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. So guys, hit like if you have liked this video, and if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. So guys, this was S&P 500 weekly technical analysis for the week of May 20th, means from May 20th, which is Monday, to May 24th, that will be Friday.